What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me today on Crypto Lit. Today, we're going to talk about why Bitcoin seems to be in a free fall, why it's dropping, and maybe go over some things that some people haven't considered for why this is happening. So thank you for joining me today. Please go ahead and make sure to hit the like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe as well. So I wanted to apologize to everybody because lately I've not been able to do any content. Unfortunately, I'm down a video camera, and so if I don't shoot it on my phone, I don't get a chance to really do much content creation. So I'm in the process of trying to secure another camera, and hopefully we'll get that done soon and be back up and running on a regular basis. But today I wanted to go over why Bitcoin seems to be dropping so much. And it's, I've watched a lot of other YouTubers talk about it, a lot of other people who are in the space, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, so I wanted to go ahead and go over it. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts and take a look at Bitcoin. So what we can see for Bitcoin is that back at the end of March, we broke above the larger ascending triangle after having already broken out of a symmetrical triangle. And so we ran up to this level up here right around 48K at the end of March. But since then, it's been nothing but a steady downtrend to today coming all the way down to about 41K. And so there's a lot of people asking the question, why is Bitcoin having this retracement? You know, we had all these positive signals. The EMA ribbon had flipped bullish. We broke above the symmetrical triangle. We broke above the ascending triangle. We looked like we were on our way back up to 50K. And then all of a sudden the brakes were put on and we've been going in a downtrend ever since. So one of the things, and let me flip back around here. One of the things that I think is going on here, it plays into some of the tax situation. So if we take a look at what's happened in the last couple of years in regards to the economic situation, you had the government giving economic bailouts to individuals. And we also saw that last year, you were automatically, if you had children, you were automatically opted into an advance on your child tax credits. So if you had children, you are automatically getting money put into your account every month based on your advanced child tax credits. And so now what we're having is tax season is coming up. People are preparing their taxes at the start of April. And what we're seeing is that everybody who was getting these advancements, everybody who got these economic bailouts, now they're having to account for this in their taxes. And so tax bills now, whereas you were getting a credit for your child tax credits on your taxes, now those aren't there. And so what we're seeing is that there are higher taxes coming around. People are actually owing more this year than what they have in previous years. In previous years, I always get money back on my taxes. This year, I'm looking at owing about $5,000. And a lot of people haven't accounted for this. And what do you do when you owe a sum of money on your taxes? Well, traditionally, you start liquidating investments if you don't have anything in your savings account. And we've all gone through some kind of economic hardship over the last several years due to the pandemic. And so now what you're seeing is people are having to dip into their crypto maybe to pull money out to be able to pay for these tax bills that they're now being faced with at the start of April. So people are getting their taxes done. They're saying, oh no, I owe money. Where am I going to get that money? They're digging into their crypto. And as people start dipping into their crypto for this tax situation, I believe it's starting a sell-off and it's just cascading from there. Now, is this the only explanation for why we're going down? No, it's not the only reason for why Bitcoin's going down. You know, there's some technicals that are causing this. There's some fundamentals that are causing this as well. But this is a thing that I don't think many people are talking about that I think is a real viable explanation for why we're seeing a dip. So you have this tax situation that's being thrown in with all these other economic factors like interest rates increasing. And I think that that's why we're seeing this retracement. The problem with it is if it continues to retrace much lower, we could see further downside because of the technicals. So let's go ahead and flip back over and talk about some things on the charts. So if we take a look here on the chart and zoom in a little bit, what we're seeing is that EMA ribbon is starting to really narrow up. And on many other coins that I was very bullish about a few weeks ago, like let's take a look at XRP, that EMA ribbon is just about to flip bearish again. And so that is definitely a concern, when we're looking at these overall markets, that these fundamental situations are kind of causing this drawback. And if they go too far, then the technicals kind of play in and people start seeing patterns in the technical analysis. These patterns can then kind of be self-fulfilling in that, everybody's kind of looking at the same thing. And if everybody's looking at the same thing and expecting the same thing, it tends to play out. So one of the things that I'm looking at, and I've heard other people talk about as well, is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. If we look here on the weekly and zoom in here, a few weeks ago, we were looking pretty well in that the EMA ribbon had been narrowing right here on the weekly, and we were very concerned that the weekly EMA ribbon may flip bearish. Then we had this pump here that led up, and we were then thinking that we were kind of out of the woods. It started to separate, and we were hoping that if it went back over 50K, I was expecting that this EMA ribbon would broaden out and we'd stay in a general uptrend. So over the last couple of weeks, though, we've had this major downtrend, and it's causing the EMA ribbon to again consolidate right there and narrow. And so one of the problems with this is that when we look at the EMA ribbon over time, and let me narrow things up here a little bit, or shrink things up here. When we look at the EMA ribbon on the weekly, the last time that it flipped bearish was during the pandemic crash, and the time before that was the bear market starting in 2018, and it had a long-term downtrend when that EMA ribbon flipped bearish on the weekly. So this could be something that, if we don't turn things around relatively soon, could lead to further downside, just because those technicals could end up playing out. So hopefully, after we get through this tax filing of next Monday, hopefully we get past that and can move into a period of time where everybody's buying up cheap Bitcoin, because it is relatively cheap right now. Right at that 40,000 is proven to be a nice area for accumulation. So hopefully what we see is that institutions start pouring back in and buying up that level, that retail investors come in and start buying up that level because Bitcoin's cheap, and that we see a little bit of a turn back up. We see that there's plenty of support, and typically in a lot of different charts and different indicators, there's a lot of support at that $40,000 level. So hopefully that support holds and we have a turnaround and things start moving again. So that's my take on all this. Let me know what your thoughts are, and tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments below. So that's all I've got for today. I'll see you in the next video.